Hello there, world of tankers. Welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Droodles, Blitz, and in today's live stream, we are playing Blitz. That's about it. I'm playing what you guys want to see played. So, hopefully we will have fun. Smasher 3 Mark win should be a piece of cake. I think that most of the tier 7s, apart from the Vindicator, will be a piece of cake. I mean, I already did the Vindicator, but that was not a fun experience. Somebody go check for me. Somebody that has the Vindicator in game. Let me know what the 3 mark level is. You might say, oh, why don't you look? Well, it's because I'm on a press account, so I physically can't see what the gun mark requirement for the Vindicator is. But if you have the Vindicator on your account, let me know. I'm interested to see what the required XP to 3 mark the Vindicator are. Okay. Play GSOR the tank. You know what? Fine. Fee, fi, fo, fum. I will play the dumb. This tank really is dumb. It is a completely overpowered tier 10 that not really sure what Wargaming was thinking when releasing this thing. Not many people have it, to be fair, but it is still a completely overpowered vehicle. By the way, I recorded a War Thunder video about 30 minutes ago, and I can tell you that you will be very disappointed because I did not enjoy the game. People have been begging me for like years to post videos on War Thunder, and I've always had the same reply, which is I don't like War Thunder and I never will, and people keep asking me to play War Thunder. So I've done exactly what they've asked, and I made a video on War Thunder, and it's basically going to be me complaining about the game for 15 minutes. So if that's what people wanted to see, that's what they're getting. I do not like War Thunder at all. I really don't. The graphics are garbage. The gameplay is you camp and spawn. If you make a play, you get hit by somebody spawn camping in the back. I do not find it fun. So, for anybody that's excited for my War Thunder video, you'll be seeing me complain about the game quite a bit. Alright, here we go. The GSOR. Now, the reason this tank is very stupid is because of the level of gun depression and DPM it has for a heavy. See, GSOR the tank has 2,500 health, but it's also pretty quick. It can achieve a top speed upwards of 40-ish kilometers per hour with a pretty good power to weight. But if that's not enough, it's the fact that this vehicle also has, again, 12 degrees of gun depression. This is the only tier 10 in the game that has this level of flexibility, and it allows it to just do whatever it wants. It also features pretty good turret armor, which is also pretty important. So we're going to aim in a HESH shell on the back of that E4. And yes, you heard that correct. This tank also fires HESH, because of course it does. I'd love to be able to hit the T110E4, but, you know, I don't want to lose 600 health either. Let's aim in on the E5, maybe? Bonk. There you go. 260 damage. It's not a lot, but it adds up, right? I mean, every shot counts. Not able to hit the E4. Boom, 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 boom. I do have the War Thunder song stuck in my head. I will give War Thunder credit. The song is catchy. I'm just going to fire a standard shell into the lower plate of the Type 71, and because this vehicle is such a stupid fast reload, we'll get a second shell into the lower plate. We do get shot by the E5, but I don't really care. We get a third shell into the Type. Type misses me, which means we out-reload him again, which means we get a fourth shell into the Type. I think you can start to see where the DPM this thing has is pretty stupid. It is pretty dang dumb. Dum diddy dum diddy dum diddy dum. Monkeys on drums, monkeys on swings. I don't know the words. That's like the first Dr. Seuss book I ever read. Rings on fingers, rings on thumbs, dum diddy dum diddy. Okay, we're going to ignore the Type 71. We're going to head towards our spawn and see if we can get some damage into the Vorneta. We also have the T-30. Hello, good sir. How are you doing? Well, there's one shell into your tank. That puts us up to 3,500 damage. There's a Hess shell for 500. And we reload again. 3, 2, 1. There's another Hess shell for 360. And that's 4,400 damage. I mean, this thing's stupid. It's absolutely stupid. Centurion71, thank you for the donation. Thanks for supplying us with the daily videos. Thank you very much, Cody. Appreciated for the donation. Thank you very much, Epic Gamer 6419 for the donation. As always, I'm going to continue playing Blitz until the game inevitably dies. But Wargaming is actually contacting me. For example, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this or not, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. But I'm going to be messing around with a unreleased version of Reforged soon. And Wargaming wants my feedback on how I feel about Reforged. They directly asked me, because in a previous video of mine, I mentioned how I don't agree with the placements of certain tanks in sets. And I thought it was very nice that Wargaming and some of the people at the company reached out to me directly and said, hey, what do you mean by some of the tanks don't fit into the sets? How would you restructure them? I replied and said, I can't remember all the tanks right now, so when the next version of Reforged comes out, I'd be more than happy to sit down in a voice call and explain exactly what about Reforged I do and dislike. So it seems like we are going to actually, you know, get some input into Wargaming, and they might listen to me, because there were definitely some areas, and I'm going to tell this to Wargaming directly, but I'll say it here too if it ever gets clipped. And, you know, I can literally name everything about this game. Like, I have played this game so much, I've put so much time and effort into it, that I would argue that I probably know more about this game than even the devs that created it at this point. And the reason I'm saying that is because there are a lot of things that are in Reforged that don't really make sense, and they should make sense. I think the best way to describe it is like the 215B is listed as a beginner tank, when it's most definitely not a beginner tank, right? And it's something that I disagree with, because you're going to get people who see the 215B, they're going to see the DPM when they get Reforged, and maybe they're starting off the game, so they pick that line to go for, and then they end up sucking and they hate the line. And there's plenty of vehicles that are like that, that were classified as, like, you know, beginner friendly or challenging. I think the Minnow was classed as a challenging tank at one point. So there needs to be vehicles that have better categorization in Reforged. I also think the level at which you... Oh, wait, I'm running the wrong gun. I also think that the level at which you unlock tanks should be changed. So when I get access to the Reforged test build, I'm going to break into all of the things that I would like to see changed, and I think that would make more sense. That's what I'll look at. What's the best tank in the game? According to Droodles, every tank? When have I ever said that every tank is the best tank? Huh? I have multiple videos on the channel claiming that there are a lot of horrible tanks in the game. The thing that I've said many times is that there is no best tank, because you can't classify this as the best tank. There's tanks that accomplish different goals. The 215B is amazing at playing aggressive and, you know, doing the role of that tank. I averaged 4,200 damage when I 3-marked it, and I was #1 in the tank. But the thing is, while the 215B may be amazing, are you going to say that it's worse than GSOR the tank, or an E5, or better, right? There are different tanks that have different roles, and trying to compare different tanks on different roles doesn't really make sense. So basically, every tank in the wrong run? No, because there are certain tanks that just aren't good. I'm not going to sit here and say that the CS63 is the best tank in Tier 10, because it's not. I'm not going to sit here and say that the WZ-130-21 is the best tank in Tier 10, because while it is very good, it requires an incredibly skilled player to perform in it. So there are certain tanks that are going to perform better than others, and I think that should be quite obvious. I don't think an E3 is nearly as good as, you know, some of the better Tier 10s that exist right now, but at the same time, if you know how to perform well in an E3, it can do well. There's no tank in the game that, if you're a good player, you'll do bad in. That's a fact. Like, I averaged 2,700 damage and went 90% in my Vindicator, and that's a tank that I consider horrible. So performing well is not a matter of... Okay. Performing well is not a matter of the tank. It is a matter of your skill and how you use the tank. But there are tanks that are better than others, and saying that every tank is the best tank because you hear me say that every tank can perform well is kind of a bad assumption, to be totally honest. The correct assumption should be that there are certain tanks that are better than others, but there are certain tanks that also perform similar roles, and trying to compare a 4005 to a 60 TP. How do you do that? You can't compare a 4005 and a 60 TP. It's not possible. You can't compare a Concept 1B and a 2 and 5B. They don't perform similar roles, they don't have similar armor, they don't have similar playstyles. So you're just proving my point? No, I don't think anybody here agrees with you either. And to be totally honest, I'm not going to argue with you because I've already made my point, and most people that are listening to what I'm saying know exactly what I'm saying. You're the only person that's arguing it, so. For most of the people watching that understand what I said, certain tanks are good at certain roles, certain tanks are good at a lot of roles. If I were to say the best tanks in tier 10 right now, probably going to be looking towards Concept 1B, 2 and 5B, Kron, 60 TP in the heavies category. How you doing, Wallet? Are you off work-alert? There you go, 3,860 damage. Not bad. Is a tier 8 Chieftain a good tank? Here's what I'll say. I think that it is a good tank, but I also think that the Tech Tree Carnarvon is kind of just better. Because if you're to look at the vehicle stat for stat, right, we go to tier 8, and we look at the, where's the Carnarvon? If we look at the Carnarvon, and we'll just put on Rammer for now, and we'll put on the provisions, right? So this vehicle has 3,000 DPM. If you're running double food, it's 3,000 DPM. And if you're looking at the Chieftain, it's 2,600 DPM. The armor of the Chieftain is worse than the Carnarvon because you got that big ol' hatch, and the Carnarvon doesn't have that hatch. And then the Carnarvon also features speed boost, so it's pretty mobile. The Chieftain's big advantage is view range. A lot of people don't realize this, but the Chieftain has insane view range. It has, where is it? 291 meters, where the Carnarvon has 280. So that's a big advantage for the Chieftain. But in terms of armor, in terms of DPM, I think that the Chieftain just gets completely beaten by the Carnarvon. So that's how I look at it. It's midnight where he is. It's definitely not midnight where I'm at. It is 8:04 p.m. Bro, what? Just asked. I pulled it from a crate today. Yeah, I mean, it's not a bad tank. Let me clarify that. Like, the one game I played in it on stream yesterday, I did 4,700 damage. I like the tank, but I think that the Carnarvon is better overall. The Action 10 is more comparable, but again, the Action has better armor. So we did a couple donations here. We did the Centurion. Now I have to do my favorite tank. So I don't really have a favorite tank right now, if I'm going to be totally honest, but my favorite tank for a little while has been the BZ-75. So we're going to play in that. Thank you for the donation, Cody. And then we're going to do the Centurion with the Hesh gun. I always do the Hesh gun, so you didn't even have to ask. But thank you very much for the donation. And then after we do the Centurion, we have to do the Kampfpanzer 50-ton with Adrenaline and Tungsten, which I usually do run as well. There are downsides with running double consumable. The big downside is that you have the chance of having a module broken or something like that. If you told me I had to consistently perform well, I'd probably pick one consumable. I've seen some content creators try to say, like, you should always run double consumable, and that's not really manageable for most players for two reasons. First of all, most players aren't going to be skilled enough to take advantage of the consumables and use them properly, which means that you'd be better off just using a repair kit. And then the second thing to say is that most players don't have the credits to use double consumable and spam them. They just don't, because you're going to lose credits most games you play unless you're dealing like 2,500 to 3K. So that's another thing. I'll message you, Wallet, if you want a platoon or VC. What's your opinion on Peter saying heavy tank side is way better? I mean, I've already made my opinion pretty clear in many videos. Your tank is classified as a category for a reason, and driving your medium or light tank to the heavy flank when you have the ability to push medium side is personally selfish. I posted a video maybe 2 weeks ago on a replay from one of my friends in the WZ-132-1. And if you just look at the comment section or my opinions on the video, you can see exactly my stance on the situation. Listen, people can play any way they want. If Peter wants to drive his medium tanks to the heavy flank, that's totally fine. And if he wants to influence people to play that way, that's fine. But I also feel like if you do that, then you can't complain when your teammates go to the medium flank and cause your team to lose because they ignored the side of the map that they should have been holding, right? That's the thing, like, if you then drive a slow heavy, and the thing is, Peter doesn't really drive slow heavy, so it's not really a problem for him, but if he ever finds himself in a slow heavy tank, and he has a teammate or multiple teammates on the medium flank who just go over to the heavy side and screw him over, then he might regret saying that. But for me, I'm always going to say you should do it the role of your tank is. If you're in a heavy tank, you should go to the heavy side. If you're in a medium tank, you should go to the medium side. That's not always the case. If your medium flank is going to fall apart, then yeah, you shouldn't go to the medium side, but it's pretty basic. Like, I'm not saying that you should go alone to one or the other side of the map, but... Oh, I got the 100 there. I'm just going to fire high explosive. Do we have to, like, drive into me? Yeah, it'd be nice if we didn't. I'm doing okay. We're not really able to do much here. We're up against pretty heavily armored vehicles, and I'm just not able to hit them with high explosive shells right now. Or really even my AP. I'm just kind of splashing them. And to be fair, I am hitting them pretty hard. Like, this tank still chunks with an HE shell, even if you don't pen. Okay. Not really sure where that shot went, but, yeah, I guess. Let's ignore the E100 and then push below the 116. That's what I'm going to do. So let's do that right now. Go, go, go. Keep on going, and... Boom, there you go, 638. That player's out of the game. E100 thinks he's, like, big brain, and... Yeah, good job, bro. You really got me. Ooh, boy. I always find it funny when people think that that's a good play, jumping off. I get annoyed when we were down a tank on the heavy flank and one of ours goes medium just to make everything harder. Well, it's one way. It's both ways, right? I mean, if I'm in a... Let's say I'm in a super heavy, and I watch my mediums all go over to the heavy flank, and then they farm all the damage because I'm too slow to actually get into position, and then I get flanked in the rear because the mediums didn't actually go to the medium side. That is a perfect example of what happens when you drive your mediums to the heavy flank, right? That's what happens, because you're ignoring the enemy mediums so that you can farm the heavies out. It's good if you want to average damage. Like Peter said many times on his stream, he doesn't care about winning. He cares about damage. And if that's what you're going for, then it's fine, but it's a selfish play. I mean... That's really as simple as it is. You're hurting your teammates so that you personally can farm damage. And I've always found it a bit selfish, personally. Is that another content creator? Yeah. I got no problems with Peter, as I said. You know, I don't have a problem if that's how... People can play any way they want in Blitz. And that's totally fine with me. But I think that people can still be criticized for... you know, decisions and stuff like that. Just like people can criticize me if I make bad plays. You know, I don't really get mad if people criticize me. They do it all the time. There's another skilled player on NA. Peter actually plays on the European server. BZ is hard because it doesn't have the best pen. It's got fine penetration. The standard pen is totally fine. Like, it's got 270. That's fine. It's just the Hesh. Personally, I think that the Hesh on this vehicle should be buffed to about 210 mils. It would be just enough that you'd be able to cut through most armor. For meme, drive a tier 10 with triple speed boost. Are there any game modes out? Yeah, I'll do it in 5 versus 5 skirmish. Bro, you already deleted the comment? Bro, why? Alright, I have to do the Centurion with Hesh. Here we go, and yeah, alright, nice. Boom, 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 boom. Alright, that's properly equipped. And we'll put on our provisions. I haven't been playing Blitz as much recently as I have in the past. Mainly just because of the fact I've been really busy with my other channels, and Blitz is kind of in a stale spot right now, right? We're kind of waiting. We're in the period where we're waiting for Reforged, so there's not much going on, and until we really get Reforged, we're just kind of waiting. There hasn't even been much content added. My friend Wallet and I have been waiting forever for a new tank to be added into the game, and Wargaming hasn't added anything. We know that the BZT is coming soon. We know that it's coming early April, and it's already the 31st, so April, maybe Wednesday we'll be seeing the tank released, maybe Thursday, we don't know, but all we know is that the BZT is coming out soon, and I'm excited for it, but I also am not excited to spend a ridiculous amount of money. I did find it funny, though, when Asen and a bunch of people tried telling me that I was wrong and that the BZT wasn't coming out and that it was a NetEase exclusive only, and I kept saying it is not a NetEase exclusive only because it has been tested many times on the NA server, and that if it's been tested on NA, it's clearly going to be brought into the game at some point. The NetEase exclusive tanks, like the Leopard Tier 8, and there's one other that's the Type 59 SPC. Those two vehicles are only on NetEase. And I did actually make a video with the Type 59 SPC on my channel. I didn't post it. I'm going to ask Wargaming when I'm in a call with them if I can post it at some point. But basically, the tanks that are usually going to NetEase don't even enter testing on this server. So because of that, that's why. The BZT went through multiple stages of testing on NA, so I knew that it was going to come out at some point. Plus, it's a 183, but a heavy tank. And we know how much money Wargaming wants to make off of a vehicle like that, so clearly it was going to come into the game at some point. Isn't the BZT terrible except for the gun, but only in the alpha? Well, it's hard to say, because the Caliban is terrible in every regard, and yet I have a pretty good win rate and damage value in it. So the BZT is probably going to be similar, where if you're decent at the game, you can still do pretty good, because you're going to have the ability to, you know, take 950 health off someone in one shot. But at the same time, the downside of the vehicle is that if you're bad at the game, you're probably going to do horrible in it. So I think skilled players will do okay, but I also think that if they fight other skilled players, they're going to get ripped apart pretty fast. But I think that's how the BZT should be. It doesn't deserve to be a tank that is inherently good, you know? It doesn't deserve to be a tank that is good. It deserves to be a tank that is fun and nothing more. So we'll have to see how it is when it gets released. I hope that at some point Wargaming will allow me to make videos on some of these tanks before they get released. I don't know why they don't allow me to. My thought process is that they are worried that certain content creators might say their, you know, tanks suck before they get released, and because of that, they don't want it to affect sales. Because let's say I made a video saying a new tier 8 that was coming into the game was horrible, and because of that, people preemptively just didn't buy it because they saw my video and they're like, oh, well, I'm not going to buy it because Droodles just said it sucks and it's not even released yet. So if the tank releases first, you'll get a lot of people who impulse buy the vehicle and buy it before they see content on it, and then they'll realize it sucks after they've spent hundreds of dollars. And I do think that is the way it normally goes, but it would be quite nice if Wargaming made it so that I could you know, review these tanks before they get released. Now, this mill is going to clip me, as we can see. But here's the okay, my bad game. my bad. Oh, great. Of course, of course. And he damages my ammo rack with the last shell. That really frustrates me because I was able to kill the Emil, and now I am screwed because I don't have a ammo rack anymore. Well, that sucks. Oh well. Nothing I can do about it. Doesn't matter how skilled you are at the game, when Wargaming decides that your time is up. Your time is up. Yep. Oh well. If my ammo rack didn't get killed, we would have been fine. But it doesn't matter too much. We did 2,300 damage, and there's only 2 tanks left, so we're going to win this anyway. BZT is hyped up just like the Type 5. The difference is the Type 5 should have been a tech tree, and Wargaming knows that. It's why they're releasing the Type 5 Zetsu. And the Zetsu actually looks really fun, so I'm very excited for that line to come into the game. It will most likely be the next line that enters Blitz, but we also could be seeing the Tychos enter Blitz, which is a Blitz Nation medium, kind of similar to a T-22 medium. I wish that Wargaming was a little bit more transparent on what exactly the future of the game was in that regard. I wish they directly just told me, hey, Droodles, we're releasing this line next, and we'd like you to try out the Zetsu, give us some balancing ideas before it's released, and then I'd say this and that. And then when they come back with, like, the final state before it gets released, they could give me, like, the line unlocked as an update, and I could try it and be like, oh, yeah, they could give me, like, the tier 8 through 10 before the line's released as, like, collectors. And I could be like, okay, this is the line, this is how you grind it, and this is how to play the tanks. And it would work as a great advertisement for Wargaming while also helping out the channel. That's what I really think that Wargaming's big step should be. Also, thank you very much, Mike, for the donation. The Rebeldy single shot. The single shot is better, so I will use the single shot. Thank you for the second donation, KK. Appreciated. Let's do the Kampfpanzer 50-ton with tungsten and adrenaline first. Here we are. But yeah, I think what Wargaming really should focus on doing, especially for Blitz, they need to focus on the YouTube side. I've said this many times, but when content creation for your game dies, it's when your game is dead. Like, that's just the way it is. When your game no longer has people making content on it, when your game no longer has viewership, that's when it's cooked. Because then how are people going to learn how to get better, You need content creators posting content on your games. The moment that stops is the moment you officially have a dead game. And right now, I feel like if I were to stop posting videos on this game, like, who's going to take up the torch, I don't feel like there's many creators that are able to pump out as much content as I do, and especially at the level that I do with the knowledge that I have on the game, There's been some content creators who are trying to do that, and they've messed up a little bit already. They've gotten themselves into some controversy. They've made some claims which aren't true. And I'm obviously not going to say who some of these creators are, but the point being, you can't clickbait your way to popularity. Like, people always say, oh, Droodles, will you clickbait? And I've said this many times, but 99% of the videos I post, the titles themselves might be a little exaggerated, but the topic is never going to be clickbait. That's just the way it is, I'm never going to have a clickbait video. So if I type it like a title, this tank has the most insane side armor. The Elephant does have crazy side armor. Obviously, it's not, like, mind-blowing, but when it comes to, like, an event, I'm not going to be like, you can get this tank for free when you can't get the tank for free. The CDA, stuff like that. Engel and Wattby Joe, they'll keep enough 40%ers to keep the game popular for a few years after your channel is done. Well, go look at Engel's latest videos. He's not even posting Blitz content. He's posting War Thunder, and my videos are doing better than Engel's videos. So, yeah. It's not to say I like Engel. I don't have anything negative towards him. It's just, if you look at his channel analytics and you look at mine, my channel is doing much better than his. His War Thunder videos are getting, like, half the views my videos get. And it's very simple. It's because I'm surprised that hit. Also, I need to leave this spot. They only have one medium, but it's more the fact that I have no support. I don't know if I'm going to be rushed or anything like that, so I have to be really careful here. I'm going to fall back just a bit, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, the point being, like, Engel's channel isn't doing crazy good right now. It's because the Blitz just isn't in its peak, back in the day, a lot of people like to watch meme content on Blitz. It's just not the same anymore. People are more worried about Reforged in the future of the game. So my Reforged videos did crazy well. Like, you know, 50, 60. Okay, that sucks. But my Reforged videos did crazy well. And it makes sense. So when Reforged releases, that's when I'm going to be okay, I didn't realize he had a shot. But yeah, when Reforged releases, that's when I'm going to be getting a huge, huge chunk of views. Alright. Basically, Wargaming just has to make sure that they don't screw up Reforged. That's what they really have to do. If they screw up Reforged, the game will die. If they do it properly, it'll do fine. And I'm not the one who obviously decides balancing decisions, so I can't say what's going to happen. I used to watch Angle and remember a lot of his videos having like 500k views or more. He had like, he has a couple videos with over 1 million views on his channel. But that will never happen again, because as I said, Blitz just isn't, well, it's not even Blitz, it's just, now that there's so many, like, when Blitz first came out, there wasn't nearly as many mobile games in the market, but now with all these, like, mobile games that exist, and, you know, everything that's currently saturating the market, Blitz is just no longer that dominating force. I still think the game is pretty popular. I don't think Blitz is dying at all. Swetchman made, like, a video a little while ago, like, we can't deny it anymore, Blitz is dying, but I don't really agree. If Blitz was dying, you'd notice longer matchmaking queues, you know. You'd notice the game physically also. Amazing roll there. 275 from a 310, or a 320. That means that we basically, okay, yep, thanks game. Oh well, this is a team that was clearly horrible. And the reason why we lost is because nobody went towards the middle hill. You can't allow a Kron to just sit in mid-hill and do whatever he wants, so, oh well. Game won't die because there isn't any competitors? That doesn't have to do with the game dying. The game dying has to do with if the game itself can retain players without losing them. So, World of Tanks PC is dying. There's no competitors to World of Tanks PC. War Thunder's not the same game, but also a pretty horrible team. But even then, World of Tanks PC is slowly dying because they're not bringing enough new people into the game to replace the old players that are leaving the game. So, I disagree. A game can die if you don't have enough new players to replenish the old players. And that's what all games are like. Go look at Fortnite. They just laid off 1,000 employees. Like, thank you very much for the donation, Hicks. Appreciated. I have to play in a triple speed boost tank. We are going to do this in a game mode because there's no way we're doing it at pubs. What tank can run super speed boost 3 times? We could do an IS-4. Let's do the IS-4. I feel like that's the ultimate YOLO tank. There you go. Consumables. Here we go. But yeah, go look at Steel Hunters. That was a game Wargaming worked on, and it died. They closed shop. They spent how many millions of dollars working on it, how many devs they had working on the game, and it's all done, right? That was millions and millions of dollars Wargaming spent designing that, and it went down the garbage. And Reforged, Wargaming spent probably a lot of money designing, probably millions and millions of dollars, 2 years down the drain, and then they show us the trailer and everybody hates it, and now they had to rework it again. So clearly games can die. If the original Reforged was released today, the game would be dead. There would be nobody playing Blitz. And if there were people playing Blitz, all the people that originally played it would not be the people playing it anymore. So you can very easily kill a game by changing it from what your core audience likes. What Wargaming needs to do is they need to implement ways that they can bring newer people into the game, younger people into the game, while keeping the older player base. Now, World of Tanks PC is in a really challenged state because it's so complicated, and the audience is an older, aging audience that it's almost impossible for them to bring newer players in. But Blitz has the advantage of being a mobile game. It already has a lot of fantasy tanks. It already has a lot of mechanics that are easier to understand than PC. So what Wargaming needs to do for Blitz is they need to start incorporating ways to get newer audiences into the game. They need to make the game more fun for newer players. They need to make it simpler for newer players to understand, while also allowing them to have fun. That's what wargaming really needs to work on. Game modes are a good thing. Game modes allow people to stay and enjoy the game. They allow you to grind tanks without spending money, so that's not too bad. But what wargaming really needs to work on is player retention, because Blitz probably has one of the lowest player retention values out of most games out there because of how much time and effort it takes to learn how to get better. So what wargaming needs to do is they need to figure out how to keep these newer players in the game. That's really where they need to figure it out. As I said, I think the best way to do that would be to immediately bring these newer players to YouTube and have them watch tutorials on the game, and more importantly, have them watch, crazy games and replays, and this is the IS-2. Here's how you play it. Who is Winnie? It's my puppy. T95-105 stock Ford GAF engine. What does GAF mean? Thank you for the donation, Clint. I've never really worried about Blitz dying since games like World of Warships are still going. I guess, but World of Warships, don't they have like bots now? I mean, there are bots in the game because, or at least there's like game modes that are all AI because there's not enough people that play them. I typed out a donation for $25 and realized it was too long to get those through these other donos to even get to them. Level 1 type 6 to restore tank, then realize it will take too long to get through these other donos to even get to them. I see. Well, you see, what you should do is just give me $25 and then just say like poob. World of Tanks PC is awful. I don't think it's bad. It's just not my personal playstyle. If they removed artillery, it would be a hell of a lot better. That's what I'll say. All right, here we go. Battle. Boom! Boom, boom, boom! We're really not even that much faster. We really aren't. Like, this is really not that fast. There you go. Is that what you wanted? Was this your big Ooga Chaka funny? Oh, there you go. We have no repair kit, so I guess we'll just sit here and get shot by the Waffenträger. Well, congratulations. You penned me once. Okay. Alright. Alright. Yep, 713. Max roll from a Sheridan. I mean, it doesn't matter. It's a game mode, but it is pretty funny how Sheridans just always manage to max roll their shells, high roll their shells. They never, ever low roll. It's always like, nah, I'm going to hit you for 8,000 damage. Oh, there you go. He low rolled that one. Alright, let's move up. I'm taking this Waffen out of the game. I don't care if I die. He's going down. Come here, buddy boy. What are you gonna do, huh? Boom! Yes. Watch the Sheridan also die to me. I mean, the funny part is, the Sheridan doesn't have bad DPM either. It's got 2,600 DPM. Yay. See, what I always find funny is people in their minds are always like, ooh, wouldn't it be so funny if Droodles did, triple speed boost IS-4? I bet it'd be hilarious. And then you do it, and it's not that fun, and I really don't think it's nearly as engaging as people think it's going to be. In their minds, they're like, oh my god, this is going to be so funny. And then they watch me play, and it's really not that funny. Like, I don't know. Thank you for the donation, but I just don't understand where the funny is, Okay. The only game that's dead is World of Tanks Modern Armor. Yeah, I think console is dead. Alright, next I have to do the Lorraine 40-ton. Okay. I don't really hate the Lorraine 40-ton. You said I will rage. I like the Lorraine. You're referring about this? I don't think this is a bad tank. Isn't... No, I already read that. Play them when you can. I probably won't be streaming. Also, thank you very much for the donation, Wrench. I probably won't be streaming too long today because I have to do another stream on Helldivers at 11. I told another creator that I would join them on stream. So we're going to do this stream. I'll probably play for another 30 or 40 minutes. And then we will finish our stream. Or we'll probably stream again tomorrow. I do need to start streaming Blitz some more. Right now, so I got 2 other channels. I have a GTA channel. And I also have a Helldivers channel. And the Helldivers channel has been doing pretty good. Honestly, very good. In the last month, it's gone up 2,000 something subs. Like, it's done very good. And my GTA channel usually goes up like 1,500 subs a month. Right now, we're kind of just waiting for GTA 6 to come out. So it's hard to make videos on... Oh, wait. This tank has 4 shells, so we got to do that. But it's kind of hard to make videos on GTA without, like, repeating old things. Because the game has just been out for so long. Everything's already been talked about for 10 years, 12 years. So everybody's just kind of waiting for GTA 6 at this point. All the content creators are starving for content when it comes to GTA 6. So we're all just waiting. And because of that, GTA, it's definitely in a dry spot. Like, whenever there's an update, I get a lot of views, but after the update, it's back to, you know, just waiting again. But Helldivers is a very popular game, and it usually gets quite a bit of new content and updates every new month. So because of that, seems like Helldivers is the way to go right now. Which is, I'm glad that I started the Helldivers channel. The only problem is that Helldivers takes a lot of time. Because like Blitz, you know, games take 3 minutes. So I can make a Blitz video in 20 minutes of time, and then I can record 2 Blitz videos a day, and it only takes me like an hour of my life. But GTA takes a little bit longer, because I have to come up not only with an idea, which alone takes a decent amount. Okay, cool. But yeah, coming up with an idea for GTA takes a lot of time alone. But then it's also the fact that I have to record the video. Sometimes that takes a lot of time. So that's something else that you have to... Okay, what am I looking at here? Alright, well, the A-team missed me. We're going to get a shell into the Dracula. And I'm just going to back up for now. I have an M4 covering me, so I'm not that worried. Let's see if we can hit the AT. Aiming, and boom. There you go. There's 1, and boom. There's 2. Not bad. Would you consider doing more Blitz challenge videos like HE only? I mean, I could. I just don't think they... The problem is, I always question to myself, you know, the amount of time put in versus the amount I'm getting out, right? Like, the problem for me with Blitz nowadays is, unless the game... Okay. Unless Reforged really, like... If Reforged does well, and when it comes out, it brings a lot of people back to the game, and I can capitalize off of that, and it, you know, the game continues to get a steady player base growth, then I'll be very happy, because I can just continue making videos. And if I'm getting, like, you know, double or triple my views, then I'll go back to posting and putting a lot more effort into Blitz content. But the problem is, the amount of effort I'm putting in to the Blitz content versus the return, that's where it becomes a little bit challenging. Also, that is complete bogus. Okay. Whatever, dude. I'm dead now. I'm already dead, so... Oh, wow. I don't have words. Just, okay, whatever. Every shell bounced. Every shell bounced. Wow. That's not rage, by the way. That's just... It's just, okay. Every single shell is going to bounce a freaking LT-432. My bad, bro. If those had hit, I would have been fine. I would have just gone in the cover, and I would have been totally fine, but... My bad. Clearly. I always found it funny when people used to say the LT-432 is a bad tank. Yeah, bro. It's so bad, that's why it gets 3 bounces. My bad, bro. I hope Reforged does well. We all hope it does well. KV2 derp. Alright. What do we have next? We have the Rebelled. Alright. I never know. Is it pronounced Rebelled or the Rebeldy? Rebelde? I don't know. I legitimately have no clue. I just hate that on every single tank I have to unlock it. Boom, 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 boom. Puppy reveal. Well, I can't show you the puppy right now. She's actually with my parents on a jeeping trip all the way in Colorado. But she will be back in my possession probably next week. Yes, I'm aware of Wargaming. I've played 15 games on my press account. I know. Truly amazing. Whoa! Whoa! Okay. Which gun do I have on it? Okay, I do have the single shot. The LT is troll armor. Yeah, it's stupid. Boom, boom, boom. The rammer is such a weird banner picture. Yeah, it does. I'm not really sure why Wargaming did that for the rammer. They wanted to be like special and unique, and it looks stupid. I hate, if you guys have ever seen Lesta, the way that Lesta has done the banners looks horrible in my opinion. It looks absolutely horrible. They changed all the icons and they don't match or fit at all. I like the way the icons look in our current Blitz. They don't need the change. All right, let's go into a game. Does anybody know if Lesta has released the ST2 yet? Because I have, obviously, my friend's account on Lesta. And when the ST2 gets released, I'd obviously like to try it out. The rammer is certainly special and unique. It's definitely not good. Try the tank based on the Sturm Tiger? No. No, go away. I will not play in it. Yes. Yes, what? They were released? That's not... Yes. Thank you. We got Antares, El Venezolano. Yeah! They released it. Okay. Is it a tech tree? I hope it is. If it is a tech tree, then, you know, I'll load up Lesta after this, and we'll see if it's on my Lesta account. If it is, it's only... What? The ST2 line is out, but only obtainable through the draws. Is it like the other one they released? The, that, like, triple-barreled shotgun tank that I made the video on, where you have to, get it through that draw in the beginning? Boom! I will say, this tank is fantastic. Oh my god. That Jackson was not fantastic. Alright, moving up. Moving up. I will say I like the auctions that Wargaming has been doing. I know that some people might think that's, like, pretty stupid to say, but I think the auctions are a hell of a lot better than putting tanks in crates. Like, they're releasing the BZT-70 in the auctions, and you know what? If people are going to be stupid, and they're going to spend $500-$600 on the tank and gamble their pension away, or whatever it is, hey, who are you going to blame? You got nobody to blame but yourself. It's an auction controlled by the players for the players. In other words, the only people making the auction so expensive are the people bidding on the auction. So you can't sit there and, like, complain, oh my god, this tank's so expensive, as you're also actively bidding on the tank. Like, that's just how it is, you know? And I don't mind the auctions because it's not gambling in crates, so you're guaranteed the tank if you spend whatever the people are willing to spend. It's not like you have to get it. Nobody's saying that, you know, you have to get this tank. It will probably come back out in the future. I will probably get the BZT-70, but I'm not going to shoot for a special number. Not a very skilled IS. We've been doing pretty good. The gun on this tank, as I said, is really nice. It is very nice. You can see that. It's accurate. It hits hard. The gun depression on this vehicle is really nice. By the way, just so you know, that is a tier 6. I can't believe we hit that. Alright. Hello, Tigar. Whoop. Alright, well, we've been doing pretty good. We're already up to 3,400 damage. Would you use the Sturm Tiger if it only had HE? If it was fun? If it was a pile of trash? Probably not. Like the $2 million number for my E100? Yeah. Keep on going. Keep on going. 8 years later. Nope. Alright, let's see. Lesta. Lesta Game Center. Let's see. Play. Let's see if the ST2 is on this account. Thoughts about T-77. What do you think about it? What do you think about nerf on it? It didn't get nerfed, unless you're asking me, should it be nerfed? But, oh, I do see the ST2 and the double-barreled tanks are literally in the loading screen. So, yeah, they definitely have been released. I'm hoping they're on this account, because that'll be a really fun video. But I don't know if the person who has access, or the OG owner of this account, still plays. I haven't seen too many battles being played on this account recently. Maybe we'll see. Yeah, there's not much gold, so I don't know if the person who uses this account has been playing on it much anymore. Let's see. There's a tank that I really want to get. It's this. It's a 252U hull with a Skoda T56 turret. It's an autoloader with 2567 DPM, and it has 400 damage per shot. I can't see the rest of the stats, so I'm trying to see where the gun stats are. A 3-second intraclip with 3 shells. So it does 1200 damage in 6 seconds with 2600 DPM, and it's a tier 8. It's ridiculous. Let's see. Heavy, Soviet. Alright, so there's no ST2 on this account. Is that the draw there? It's not loading. Let me go to the tech trees tab. There it is. The tank looks sick, I do have to say. Doesn't look PBR, though. It's weird. The graphics on it don't look amazing. But hey, this is proof that Wargaming can add it in the Blitz, too. If it's on PC, they can add it in the Blitz. That's nice stats for tier 10, yeah. So this tank has a double shot 400 alpha. It's hard to say anything else. I'm trying to see the intraclip. 7 degree... No, that's not gun depression. I don't see the... Wait, let me click on the gun. So it's got 4.1 seconds of aiming time. 1000 DPM. I don't believe that. So how do we unlock it? It's got to be this here. It looks like we're probably not going to be able to access this, though. Play it. Yeah, bro. Let me play in a tank I don't have. Good advice! I swear when people type comments, they just don't... They turn their brains off. I swear. Well, I don't think we can access it because the draws... The store isn't even loading either. That's the problem, is we're connecting over to the Russian servers, so literally nothing is loading right now. I'd have to sit here and wait for like 10 minutes for it to load, which is a bit of a bummer. So, maybe I'll do that at some point, but I don't think we'll do that right now. Either way, let's go back to our Blitz. Close. Okay. How much damage did we end up doing? 3,600 and got 4 kills, and that's only a second class? Yeah. Shows just how good this thing is, bro. Polish TDs have a different mechanic in Lesta? Yeah, they have the longer... I think it is the longer you wait to shoot, the more damage you deal. So, yeah, it's kind of weird. It's also really overpowered because you can basically just, like, wait 5 seconds, and instead of dealing, like, 400 damage, you'll deal, like, 700 damage. Not sure why that was the case. We have to do the A-tack. Alright. The A-tackler. I like the A-tack. Tier 9. I have to equip it. God, I hate equipping every tank. We've already gone through, like, 40 million credits as well. They have the shell cooldown. Yeah. I tried the Polish TDs on the Lesta account. It's very weird. I do hope that we get the ST2. I think we will be. I think that when Reforged comes out, we're going to be seeing a lot of the lines on PC brought over for a couple of reasons. First of all, when Lesta gets brought, or when Reforged gets released, Wargaming can directly copy the files from PC into Blitz. I think they still do that, but they will be able to directly copy the files. And what that means is that we will probably be seeing a lot more tanks from PC just directly copied into Blitz, and probably their mechanics too, which I don't have a problem with. I think that's fine, because it saves labor, and then they can work on other things and new tech trees, while also not having to slave away for content, right? But because of that, I'm really hoping that we do get the ST2. I saw a leak from one of my friends that showed a clip of the Tiger Mouse, or no, the Tash and Rate, and it fired the main gun, and then the two little chode guns on the side also shot. I don't know if that's just a mod, though, or it's actually going to work like that. If it does, it'd be interesting. But to be fair, it really wouldn't be that hard for Wargaming to add extra mechanics into Blitz. It really wouldn't be. All they have to do is add an extra button. That's all they have to do, right? ATAC has Hesh? Yes, it does. Let's get this show on the road. Why are you using 40 HE normal? Because I didn't care. Bat chat, you have plenty of room. Here, I'm giving you room. There you go. Lights and TDs only? Yeah, what is this garbage? I just noticed that. I hate matches like this. I mean, I'm on my press account, so it doesn't matter, but, like, when Wargaming makes... it's not Wargaming, but when the matchmaker decides, hey, we're going to throw you in with 8,000 mediums, it's like, why? 1, 2, 3, and we back up. We can't do anything because there's not a single tank. You know, this tank's mechanic works as you shoot, and then you shoot again and again and again. Well, we can't really do that when their whole team is just gonna outtrade us. All right, let's see. Come on, come on. I literally can't pen the tortoise anywhere, dude. I mean, I can hatch him. Okay. That's still 700 health. That's a pretty big win, I guess. And then the E3 moves. And I would assume, yeah, the E3 gets a pretty big chunker into the tortoise. Alright, we have the bat chat in front of me. I'm going to move towards the ball shotillon. 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3. I'm going to reload my clip, and bail is, I think, the only play that we can make, but I don't think that's even going to matter. Bat chat's probably just going to clip me and kill me. Yep, goodbye. Yeah, just sit right in front of me, Waffle. That's a really effective play. Make sure that I don't have the opportunity to leave it all. Thank you. Freaking bozo. I thought T-77 got nerfed. It didn't. Don't make assumptions, you goober. Sadly, it's not a prep tank anymore. Oh, a premium tank. It doesn't make a difference, though. It's not been nerfed, and I don't think the T-77 will ever get nerfed. There's only been a couple collectors that have ever been touched, and they're never in Tier 8. The only collectors that have been nerfed have been in Tier 10. And I'm not even going to say they've been nerfed. They've just been changed. So, I think the T-77 is an incredibly OP tank, and I don't think it's going to change much. Unfortunate team, but, I mean, what are you going to do? You know, like, my Sheridan, 200 damage, E100, 600 damage, Bat Chat, 900 damage. Like, I can't do anything when my tier 10s are that bad, when they're sucking on eggs. Okay, what do we have next? What do we have next? What do we have next? T95, yay. Yo, guys, I can't wait to drive a stock T95. As I always say, you know, you get these donations, people are like, oh, Droodles, I want to see you drive a stock T95 with no engine and the worst gun possible. It's going to be so funny. Well, you guys are about to watch me basically do nothing for about 3 minutes. I mean, it's fine. I'm making $5 for it, but it's just like, I always ask the same question when it's donations like this. Is this actually funny for you to watch? Is this enjoyable? Because it doesn't affect my stats. I'm on a press account. I'm not having fun. Maybe it's funny to watch, but like, I don't know. This just isn't a fun challenge for me. It's the equivalent of 3 minutes of doing literally nothing. It's sitting in queue and then doing nothing. Okay. I'm removing your comment because you're not allowed to rickroll people. I know that link anywhere. Remove L. Sturtiger. Yes, Sturtiger. Kron needs to get nerfed. I don't know why they didn't. They did nerf it a couple years ago, but they didn't nerf it enough. And even though the comp players cried about it, they buffed it back for no reason. Alright, well, here we go. Ooga booga. Remark the 4005 stream was fire to watch. We did pretty good in that stream. It was only towards the end that my team started being terrible. But for most of the stream, we had the #1 stats in the 4005 in the entire server. And when I was 3-marking tanks back, I'm not really doing that anymore. As I said, the problem is right now I'd rather put that 3 to 4 hours of effort into a different game. I'd rather put that effort into a game that's going to get me more money and more views. So I don't really have much of a reason to 3-mark tanks right now. But when I was 3-marking tanks, I was basically ranked #1 in like 90% of the vehicles I was playing in, which is pretty funny. Wow, this is really exciting gameplay, guys. Oh boy. Yep, I physically can't pen the 100. Oh boy. Ooh. Thinking of buying the T-77. It's currently offered to me for $8. Yeah, that's definitely worth it. Oh boy. $5 for this. This is what you paid $5 to watch. Sad part is I'm probably not even going to do worst on the team. Physically can't pen the Atlas anywhere. There you go. I can pen him in the lower plate when he shows me it. He misses me, and let's go for the lower plate again. There you go, another 350. It's impressive to me how this Houri is literally driving in the direct open, and nobody on our team is punishing him. It is pretty impressive. I mean, don't get me wrong. Driving a stock T95 is whatever, but it's more impressive when this is your 60 TP. Your TVP is doing literally nothing. Oh well. There you go. Alright, now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's go play in the KV2. I know you said play the KV2 in skirmish, but I'd rather play it in pubs. Gives me 2 more tanks to possibly nuke. Okay. When you average 3,500 damage in the Atlas for 10 games and not win any of them, genuine rage bait. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's just the Atlas. I think it's any tank, you know? If you play 10 games and you're doing decent damage and you're actually supporting your team, then it's a bit unfortunate. The Reaper donated. Yes, thank you very much for the donation, Reaper. Appreciate it. Purchase, purchase, purchase. Camo. And sure, we'll go with the Titan sub camo. We have to put... God, that looks so goofy with the long gun. We're going to put the 152, though. And we'll do 8 premium shells and 8 high explosive. Load some HE, and there you go. We're fully equipped. All right, let's see how this goes. The KV2. Come on, let me... There you go. What an exciting game we had there. What a keeper. Yeah, essentially. As I said, it's basically 3 minutes of time that I can just... Bye-bye. You know what the sad part is? I bet you I did top on that team. Oh, I didn't. Oh, wow, look at that. Our Ghost Rider. Ooh, 38% in the last 30 days. I always love seeing the 30-day stats. I'm really happy Wargaming added that. I never thought they would, but it's great that they did because it basically allows you to see how bad players are. It's great. SU-100Y with pure premium spam. SU-100Y is such a dumb tank. It's been overpowered since it was released. I don't even think it's ever been changed. It's never been buffed or nerfed. I think it's just stayed the same since it was on day one. But it's been such an OP tank on day one that it's really OP. Bro, I have Trigger Happy in my DMs getting mad at me because I didn't say hi to him. Brother, there are 120 people watching the stream. I don't know what your name is. Did we have any other donations? I think this was the last one, right? For specific tanks. Aiming. I saw that get destroyed there. I'm very, very tempted to just go ka-chunk. Ah, it went wide, dang. 8 years of reloading. Alright, we're going in. Full speed. Started seeing players with 20% 30-day stats. Like, bro, how is this possible? Yeah, but it's very nice that we can see that now. Oh. Hello, good sir. There's a... Wow. What an amazing high explosive. 257. I'm dead, by the way. I thought that Cryos was going to YOLO me, but he actually has a working brain. Isn't that insane? How you doing, Atomic? You still play comp? I don't know what to do here. I feel like I'm most definitely screwed. Think you can make a 263 video? Oh, I'm spotted. Yeah, this is what we're gonna do. Alright. I mean, I'm obviously gonna die, but I'm just gonna overmatch your roof. Yeah, there you go. That's a terrible roll. This thing is 600 damage per shot. Bro, this guy's the GOAT. He's tracked me every shell. I think he is the GOAT. Breaking every module. Okay, yep, there's the enemy. Oh well. It's a KV2. I don't expect much. If my teammate in the Kuro had moved in, we probably could have been okay, but he literally didn't even spot the Churchill. I thought he would spot the Churchill and stop him from just driving behind me, but he just didn't. He just kind of... I don't even know what he did. He just kind of sat there. I bought the 116 for 15,000 gold. Got any quick tips? I'm trying it out in 5v5. The only thing I'd say about the 116 is don't over-aggress. It has terrible damage per minute. It is, in fact, the worst DPM tier 10 in the game. So, if you over-aggress it, you're literally going to just get nuked. I've not played in a while. I have no idea what meta tanks are now. I don't even... I haven't really watched comp too much recently. I might get back into commentating comp again because I've been talking to Tolian a little bit recently. So I might commentate comp again, but we'll see, because I feel like at this point I would be the only thing like the NA comp scene is becoming pretty dang dead. I'm going to be honest. Like there are teams that should not be getting top 8 on the NA server that are getting top 8. And like, I'm pretty sure when I called for Mystic, it would have gotten top 8 nowadays. And that's pretty tragic. So I hope that maybe if I start commentating, it will revive the comp scene a little bit. Maybe some players that haven't participated in it will get back into comp or learn. How come your audio is always quieter in live streams than your videos? I don't think it is quieter. It's the same exact audio settings, so... I don't know if that's the case. Any new meta tanks are still the same? No, nobody's using the GFT anymore. Not since Wargaming took away reactive armor. I was pissed for the auctions. I bought Concept 1B for 16k gold, and after that saw the line went for 11k gold in the auctions. Well, nobody told you had to buy the Concept. How long have we been streaming today? We've been streaming for an hour and 12 minutes. Okay, so we're going to do 3 more games, guys. If there's any donations, I'll keep going. If not, I'm going to end it off. Also, let's see. What tank could I say is the most meta right now? I think this 60 TP is back in meta, if I'm not mistaken, after Wargaming kind of buffed it. I think there are a couple Atlas rolling around. The Kron is back in meta because it's the Kron. It's always been meta. And I think the Rheinmetall Panzerwagen is the main light tank played. Cryos has spaced armor? It does. Where I was when the Lion went for 5k? I think on the Asia server the Lion was literally like 5k. You know, this is a terrible idea, but let's do it! Let's play in the mouse! Yeah! Boom, boom, boom! Oh, I hate the mouse. I hate it so much. I want to love this tank, and I used to really love it. I heard Kron lost DPM. I don't think it did. Whoever told you that is mistaken. The Kron still has the exact same DPM. It lost a bit of accuracy, and I think that's it, actually. It lost a little bit of aiming time and dispersion, but it did not lose any DPM. It still has around 2,700 with highest DPM single shot, so whoever told you that, tell them they're wrong. Claim. The Kron gained hit points, and now it has AP standard, so it actually kind of got buffed. Alright, we don't need to change the ammo, because there's no way I'm going to go through 23 shells anyway. No, I'm putting on double sandbag. Screw it. We're going for the maximum health build. Here we go. Torn Vaughn is broken? Yeah, it is. It's pretty stupid. It's very stupid. There was a $25 donation from Wrench Jeff. Indubitably. I'm going to probably do that donation tomorrow, just because I'll make the stream around that one. Boom, 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 boom. Actually, I guess I can do the donation tanks, though. So we can do the Leopard, the Type, and the GSOR before we end the stream off. Thank you very much, David, for the donation. Droodles, you can win money by playing comp. I know you can. It's, as I said, the problem with comp is that the amount of money you get for the amount of time you put in is not really worth it. Because, let's say, alright, I think comp, let's say that you're the winning team, and you get, like, I don't know, $25,000. Okay, now it's taxed, so that's like $20,000. Then it's split up into a team of, I think it's usually 10 people. Could be 7, but usually it's 10 or 9 people because you have to have some extras. So let's just say 10 people. So it's divided by 10. So that's $2,000. So you've spent an entire month training, scrims, hours and hours and hours and hours. Probably, you know, as much time as a 40-hour work week put into Blitz. All so that you can get like $2,000. At best, it would be like maybe $3,000. And I just feel like, okay, there's the mouse gun. We love it. I just feel like the amount of time you put in versus the amount of effort, you know, if I put in that same amount of work into a new channel, I could make more money than that. Like, my Helldivers channel this month is going to earn $1,000, which isn't crazy, but it is pretty crazy when you realize that I started posting on that channel 2 months ago. And, like, I'm putting a lot of work into it. I'm putting about an hour, maybe 2 hours a day into videos on Helldivers. So if you do that multiplied by a week, that's 15 hours a week. That's a lot of time. But the channel's only going to get more popular. It's only going to get more views. So, again, like, I just feel like I'd rather put that time and effort into something that I know will, you know, succeed in the long run. I'm definitely going to make, I think maybe tomorrow or later tonight, I'm going to work on my reaction channel. I told somebody I'd do a live stream with them on my Helldivers channel, and I kind of regret that because I don't regret it, but it's just more because I was planning today to actually get my reaction, or not my reaction channel, but my commentary channel set up. Okay, we love unspotted tanks across the map shooting me, but yeah, I was planning on getting my commentary channel set up. Okay. Yay, we love the mouse, and nobody ever bouncing it, and outspotting it from 2 miles away, and never getting detected because you're in a waffle. Boom, boom, boom. There's literally nothing I can do. Like, if I try to drive into the base cap, I'm probably just going to be nuked. But I don't have a choice, so we're going to go for it. The waffle's probably going to shoot me. Yep, there you go. We love the waffle. Yep, we love the grill. There goes all of my health, but again, I don't have a choice because there's a tank in the base cap, and I have to be the one who resets it because everybody else on my team is lazy as hell. So, I have to do it. That's the only good thing about the mouse, is that you can stop base cap. Boom. Alright, let's angle. This is a pretty good angle, I'd say, here. And, yep, goes directly through me. Did he go through my turret? I mean, you might say, oh, you shouldn't have angled it back. It doesn't matter. The 777, like here... Oh, well, I was going to say, let me do a perfect angle against him, but the mouse armor just doesn't work. Nothing bounces you. Everything just goes right through. It's so sad. What's the commentary channel called? Well, I'm not sure how I would share a channel with you that hasn't been created. I hate to tell it to you. Alright, let's take the IS-7 out of the game. What's funny is that we actually have dealt 4,000 damage, so as much as the mouse wasn't amazing in terms of armor, we still did 4,000 damage and actually got 2 kills. Something I genuinely don't see anymore is Chieftain Mark 6s, considering I noticed it got Hesh now and Tungsten. Yeah, the Chieftain's actually great. It has Hesh, Tungsten, and it got Gear Oil. It's pretty crazy, but you know how comp players are. They don't like using tanks that require a lot of skill. Comp is basically, what is the most brain-dead tank? Let's spam 7 of them. It was the 113G, it was the 116, and they're still using 116 F3s, and Krons. It is literally, comp is just, what is the most brain-dead, easiest tank to drive? I'll take 7. You know, it's like the JonTron meme. I'll take your entire stock. Like, I wish comp was more skill-based, and it was more based off of, you know, let's do this really cool strat with like 250Bs and 2 Chieftains and see how it goes, but that's just not how comp is. It is the equivalent of, you know, let's all drive the same broken tank and call it a day. That's how I've always looked at comp. Helldivers or Space Marine 2? Helldivers. I don't play Space Marines. Okay. What was it? Leopard 1. We'll do the Leopard. Boom. Oh my god, I keep forgetting I have to equip every tank. Also nice to see you on the stream, Trap Melon. They should add tank banning like most MOBA games. I'm not really sure why that would work or how that would work. What, like every comp team just says like, let's ban this tank? I guess. I don't really have a problem with tanks. You know, the teams can use whatever they want. The problem is there's not enough comp teams in the server for there to be diverse plays. Like, if you had the level of popularity that like COD does, or, you know, these super, super popular games, you would have enough comp teams that there would be people that would try strats that were different and upsets. But because there's only like, you know, 4 good teams on the entirety of the NA server, what ends up happening is they all just do the same strats, they all use the same tanks, and it's just down to who's the best players. Thank you for the donation. Appreciated. It's all crons and GFTs. What about 116? Fought against it. Felt like a cron. Yeah. It's essentially a cron. It has, at max it has 2,000 DPM. At lowest it has 1,800. It's basically a cron, but every shell is bad DPM. And it trades that for pretty good armor and mobility. It's not a bad tank, but I just find it very silly that the comp players are using a vehicle that legitimately has the worst DPM in tier 10. Like, they're like, oh, but the armor. I'm like, yeah, the armor's cool and all, but it doesn't really, like, if you're the most skilled players in the game, you should be able to pen your shots, I feel. Maybe that's just me. Hello? There's a bat chat. I'm going to put on my reticle Cali and completely miss. Listen, I'm only the most accurate tank in the game, so it's my bad, bro. Oop, there you go. The Leopard is so nice. Boop. Oh! Oh, O'Reilly's Auto Parts. Ow! I'm hoping that we go unspotted by the Yag. Let's see. And we're unspotted now. Okay, so no matter what, we get detected when we poke the Yag. That's really unfortunate. I was kind of hoping that we had enough camo that we wouldn't be spotted, but I guess not. There goes the Leopard. Nice shell. 330. As much as I want to shoot that leopard again, I really can't. Okay, the rhino's not there. Is the Yag still sitting there? No. Okay, that's good. Especially for us, because I can just flank. Cod has good protein. Well, it is a good fish. I like cod. Sometimes, if you have, like, bad cod, though, it does have that really, really fishy flavor. And then cod's kind of mid. Boom. Damaged his ammo rack. I gotta make sure that the Yag can't hit me. That's the main play. Boom. Now we can just back up. It's impressive how hard this Yag wants to focus me. You know, there's literally 2 autoloaders staring at him, and he'd rather turn around for the leopard. Pretty impressive stuff, dude. Ooh, the leopard, it's such a scary tank. Well, that was a fine game. I mean, it's a steamroll, so I can't get too mad. I don't know about comp now. It seems to be dead. It's more enjoyable in raiding despite bad teams. Yeah. Comps, I've said it in the past why the comp teams are dying, and it's a combination. A, there's not as many newer people coming into the game, but B, it's more the fact that these comp teams gatekeep skill. Because they want to keep winning. They want to keep getting money. So they stop players from getting better, right? I mean, what you want in a thriving comp ecosystem is people helping each other out, teaching how to become better at comp. But the way it is in Blitz comp is if you don't actively tell the comp caller that they're the best player ever and that they should, you know, get the FIFA award like Trump. And then also if you don't have X amount of experience, it's like when you try to get a job and they say you need experience. And then you ask, okay, well, I'm trying to get this job for the experience. Well, they're like, well, sorry, you don't have the experience, so we can't give you this job. So then you go to the place that gives you the experience, and they're like, oh, well, you don't have any experience, so we're not going to hire you. And it's like that never-ending loop of just, well, if you don't have the experience, you can't get the job, and we're not going to give you the job because you don't have experience. It's like that when it comes to comp, where these comp teams will only let you play comp if you have comp experience. But you can't get comp experience because the comp teams gatekeep the skill. It's impossible to get top 4 in comp unless you're in the know. And you can't get in the know unless you know the people. So basically, it's just this redundant system that they never get new players. The people that are in the comp teams now are the same people that have been in the comp teams 5 years ago. Almost all the lineups are the exact same people for the past 5 years. You will not see any new players because they gatekeep them. It sucks, and it's why the comp teams are dying on NA. What they should be doing is they should be teaching players how to get better. They should be giving new players new chances to learn. But that's what happens. But, yeah, I don't know. That's the issue we're currently running into. Let me do the Waffle E100. Well, at least I have not equipped this tank. Never mind. I don't think most of the new comp teams really plan on properly on maps to know positioning and figure out enemies. Probably not. But that's because, again, most of these skilled players just only play in, like, the top teams, and they refuse to ever step down or you know, help other players get better. Like, I remember when I went to try and create my own team, and, like, obviously, there's a lot of people who don't like me in the comp scene because I have opinions, but, like, I've always just found that really weird, where, like, there are people who will try, like, the comp scene is just so toxic. Like, if I were to make my own strat, there would be people who would tell me, this strat sucks. Even though you can't say something sucks on paper. You have to try it out, right? I mean, I remember 1 year, and this is the only year that I ever used strats that I called with, but I went up against Gosu, and I had this really goofy strat with a 263, and you'd reset the base cap. And I remember I showed somebody the strat. It was like a top 4 caller, and they were like, oh, that'll never work, because we'll just do this. I'm like, yeah, but you see the strat, so you've already made assumptions based off of that, you know? You can't look at somebody's strat and then be like, oh, well, I would just do this. Because you're already having submissive and signals that are already subliminal messages put into your brain that are already telling you things that you would have done. It's like gaslighting yourself into thinking that you would have done that when you wouldn't have. If you see a lineup of random tanks that you've never seen before, there's no way you're going to make a play based off of that. It's just not going to happen. But you know, when you try to act like, oh, I want to try something new, or, you know, ooh, let me try this out, people are just so negative in the comp scene. And I remember we went up against Gosu, and this was the season they got top 4, and we beat them with an absolutely weird strat, and it was because they just didn't know what to expect. They did the average comp play, and it went well. I don't know what to do here. This is a terrible map to play in the Waffly 100 in. We do get a shell into the Sheridan. I really don't like how Ghost Factory's balanced, though, because that side of the map over there gets really good TD positioning because of the way it's designed, and then this side of the map gets terrible TD positioning because of the way it's designed. Like, I can't poke this ridgeline because there's an E4 there. So the only play I can really make is kind of sit here. We got one shell into that player. E4 is all the way in the back. Maybe I can... no. Well, we get a shell into the E4. He tries to HE me. El Bozo. That's the one thing that's nice about this tank. You get people who think they're, ooh, free HE, and then they mess it up. For me, I think comp should have new tactics. It would bring the game back. It would bring comp back if they did new tactics. I said this, and I think it'd be really cool. I think Wargaming should do a comp season where it's tier 8. It's all the same reward, same money, same everything, but it's tier 8. I know that the comp players will get really mad and salty about it, but I think it would be really engaging to watch the comp teams play in tier 8 for a season. I think it would be really funny, and it would require a lot of these comp teams to learn about tanks that they've literally never touched in their lives, which would be really funny. That's what I think would be really cool. I thought how different comp would be if there was a tank banning stage. Maybe each team could ban like 3 to 4 tanks. Yeah, but you know what would happen, Atomic? They wouldn't ban them. Like, let's say the 113 GFT season. The only tanks that both teams used were the 113G, so they just never ban them. Maybe if the comp administrators banned the tank, then sure. But because of the fact, you know, if you made it so that they're allowed to choose the tanks they'd ban, they just never ban it. Because they all make their strats around that tank. Okay. I will do one last game. What was the donation that he said? It was a leopard and crap. I don't remember the other one. Oh well, I'm just going to do a random tank and we'll call it. Somebody give me a last tank to play. Is Waffen camo really bad? Yes, it is. It has, with camo net... Oh, and I didn't even run camo net. Wouldn't have mattered on that map anyway. But with camo net, 46% camo. That is horrible. Like, the grill with camo net is 55, so you have 10% worse camo than a grill, and a grill's not even known for having good camo. T-34-1. Sturmill. Chieftain Mark 6. I already did the A-Tech. Let's do the Chieftain. Why not? Let's whip it out. Boom, 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 boom. How much pen does the Chieftain have? 275. That's pretty good. I usually like to do gear oil and improve fuel, because then it really gives you that huge speed boost. And then... what camo looks better? I feel like this camo looks better, but I also like the Union Jack. They just need to update the graphics on this camo. We'll go with the Union Jack. Boom. Consumables. One of the things which I've been begging Wargaming for years to do, and maybe, just maybe, this will be the year I can get it done. I want Wargaming, instead of giving me a press account, to just give me the tanks on my main account. I've said it for so many years. Like, why go through all the hassle of giving me a press account and having to redo them every year? If you just made it so that you gave me, like, the 6 new tanks you release a year on my main account, then I could just review them there, and then I could also have the ability to 3-mark them. You know, I feel like that'd be a lot easier. No Megadeth camo. Press account, so I don't have any camos. Just whatever the game gives me. Oasis Palms. Okay. They have to raise the stakes if they want more attention. If a team loses, they lose their souls, the Shadow Realm. But then you wouldn't spend all of your money. Well, I probably am not going to be spending as much money on Blitz anyway. I've kind of entered that stage where I'm not going to be doing that. Our team is all going to the medium flank, which means I have to go to the medium flank. There's a 50-50 chance we get nuked, but whatever. There's really nothing I can do about it. I have said it so many times in the past. I just wish that Wargaming would give every team a minimum of 3 heavies. It would make the matchmaker so much more enjoyable. Aiming, aiming, aiming. Boom. There you go. Chieftain gun is still very nice. Oh. Yeah, okay. And then you perfectly hit that with, like, one of the most inaccurate guns in tier 10. My bad. Yeah, this is what we're gonna do. Yep. Yo, guys, we nerfed the TVP. That's why it's able to take 1,000 damage off of me in 1 second. We really nerfed it. Oh, yeah, wow. So, basically, what we're experiencing here is the worst. Wow, that was really fun. That was really fun. I loved that. Let's just not punish the TVP for driving into the open, even though we have 3 tank destroyers sitting here. Let's not punish the Yo for driving into the open. Let's not punish the 116. Let's push the 116 after he clips me. That's the right play to do, right? My bad, bro. God, I hate this game sometimes. It's so hard to enjoy Blitz sometimes. It really is. I think I returned in the game in the weirdest time, considering I find out from you they are adding tier 11s. Yeah. Alright, we're going to do another game. That was horrible. We'll do the tier 10 CS. I mean, it's press, so it's not like I care about my damage or anything. It's just, it's very frustrating when you get into a game like that, and you just get rushed and YOLO'd by every single... But, you know, autoloaders are good for the game, right? I could have countered 3 autoloaders on every single angle. My bad. Oh well. I don't know why our tank destroyers decided to YOLO towards medium flank instead of just sitting in the back like tank destroyers. If it was, you know, frontline TDs, I'd understand. But these are literally 4005 grill. Like, what are we doing, bro? Still doing BZT giveaway? Yep. Previously highest ATAC damage was 5,300. That's not true. You're looking at this season, not all time. There's 0% chance in any world the highest damage game in the ATAC was 5,300. All you gotta do is click all time instead of this season. I'm not even trying to be mean. I'm just saying, like, there's a 0% chance that's the highest. Is the Ag Panther a front line or back line? Depends. Depends on what lineup you have. Okay, I have to catch up on tanks I've never seen before. Now I gotta deal with this upcoming update. Yeah, there's quite a bit. My brain's, like, not super in it today. I'm in, like, one of those moods where my brain's, like, kinda cloudy. They did buff the 114 SP2. Yeah, they do. Big time. All they need to do is give it a top speed of, like, 42 and make it kind of a little bit more accurate. Alright, make your bets. Am I going to be YOLO'd on the medium side? They have a Caro. They have a bat chat. Make your bets, guys. What's going to happen? Boogler, boogler. There it is. Ooh, we love auto loaders. Bat chats in base C. Don't worry, though. My medium will make sure to spawn camp. Thank you, JT Master. JT, you suck. Just letting him know. Just so he's aware. If you're spawn camping in a 1-2-1B, you're garbage. Like, that's really simple as it is. But I will do you the favor of leaving and not helping you. So if you get stuck in a situation where you need support, sucks for you, I guess. I'm back. I want you to do the ISU in 30. Alright, I'll do that because you donated, but after that I'm going to end off the Streamler. Yeah, I love fighting Kron's hull down. Its group as well in the Kron, which is very fun. What exciting gameplay we have here. I hate this game. I really do. I hate this game. How does that miss? How does that miss? I mean, thankfully he bounced me, so the game, like, the game felt bad for me and gave me the... I thought that missed too for a second. I really did. Let's go for the track. That'll kill him. A no camo Caro? Yeah. These are, 2 comp guys, by the way. Okay, nice. 425. I need to take the bat chat out of the game. Great. The Caro's over here. Aiming on the Caro. Oh. See, I don't really like the CS that much. It's a good tank, but I just don't really feel like the gun is that good. Peter, like, raves about the gun, and I'm like, is it really that good, though? Like, I don't know. It trolled me pretty hard this game. I do find it very interesting, though, how Group and, whatever the hell his name is. I never know how to pronounce it, but Kami, whatever his name is, Group and Kami in double Kron managed to lose. That is very impressive. They're in 2 of the most overpowered tanks in the game, and they got beamed on by a bunch of... They got beamed on by Peace Saver, dude. Peace Saver is like the worst player. Group on a reroll? No, that's just Group's account. Why didn't Dono show up on the screen? Because it's turned off right now. Well, I did fine. This is Peace Saver, by the way, guys. 30-day stats are okay. But let me show you how many games he has in the T57 Heavy. Lakami, yeah. Group. Oh my god, what are we doing, bro? What are we doing, Group? How? How did we do 700 damage? Your teammate did good. Group, 700 damage in a Kron? Oh my god. I have no words. I don't like Group at all, because he's an asshole. He never, ever treated me with respect, so... we used to be acquaintanced, is what I'll say, and then... For some reason, he just became a total asshole to me, so... Anytime he does terrible, I will make fun of him. It's not hard to be a decent human being, but it is for some people. So... When people don't show me any kindness, I give them 0 in return. Like, I'm a pretty chill person. Anybody that knows me personally knows that, like, I'm pretty chill, you know? I'm generally an easygoing guy, but if you're going to purposefully, like, get on my bad side, I'm not going to give you the benefit of the doubt. It's not going to happen, you know? Like, you've already lost that opportunity. I still don't understand how you only do 700 damage in a Kron, though. As, like, one of the most skilled players on this server. Wait, is that all this tank holds in terms of ammo? What the heck? Alright, we'll just go with that. That's fine. Group played on my All-Stars team. What was that, Apex? I will never forget the time Nala's weird moments back then. Yeah, Nala's an interesting player. I don't know. Nala's just, he's just an interesting individual. Your Walmart delivery has arrived. Okay. I will grab that after this game. We shut it down when Woo Woo Bars passed away. I didn't even know he did pass away. I would assume... I mean, he couldn't have been old, so it had to have been something along the rails of, like, an accident or something like that. I think I had an argument with Woo Woo Bars. I think that's the only reason I remember him was because he played World of Tanks PC, and I got him in one of my games, and he started calling me trash or something, even though I literally carried the game. I was on Malinovka, and he got mad that I wasn't moving... Or no, it was Prokhorovka, and he was mad that I wasn't moving up and spotting, even though you literally can't do that in a light tank because you'll just be flamed. I think I got into a whole-ass argument with him. I think that's the person I remember. What keyboard do you use? I use a Corsair K something something something. It's the most expensive Corsair keyboard. That's literally it. I have the most expensive Corsair keyboard. HE, boom! Oof, 644. It could have been Tanks Go Choo Choo, though, I had an argument with, who was also in Pincer. There's a lot of people that I've met throughout a lot of the years of Blitz, and I've had a lot of arguments with a lot of people, so it's hard for me to recollect. SU-130, a TD with, like, no ammo. Yeah, it's weird. But I will say this thing is insane. The fact that it has tungsten and it has the same damage as, like, an SU-100Y, it's pretty crazy in that regard. Ugh! That was actually a beautiful shell. I can't believe that didn't pen. It hit him right in the hatch. Use the clan lead of Pincer? Yeah, it must have been after Tianchi left. Love to be able to hit this guy, but... Tungsten! So dumb. Okay, let's move over here. My turn. Okay, never mind. Hooah! 538, thank you. That player's gone. That was a terrible tungsten roll, by the way. We should be able to HE that. Ooh! This thing just hits like a friggin' truck. Okay, I'm not going to waste my time on you. I'm going to head over here. See if I can get some damage into the SU-122. Hello, good sir. Never mind. I'm going to get stuck. There you go. 472. That's a bad roll as well. Now, here's the thing. I should out-reload the WZ. So, as long as I pen this shot... Well, actually, I might not out-reload him. It's going to be a 50-50. And... Oh, I did. Nice. Yeah, this tank's stupid. Like, this tank is really stupid. The level of DPM you get in this thing, and the fact that you are a tier 8 tank destroyer, like... Oh, I'm out of premium. One sec. Give me a moment, sir. Whoa! I thought it would do something to him. That was horrible. Is it wireless? No, I don't ever get wire. I don't understand the point of a wireless keyboard. Like, I guess if you're a business person or whatever, but like, you know, I've just never understood the point of buying a wireless keyboard. It has to be connected to something that has a USB port at some point. Okay. You love me so much you should mod me. No. Well, there you go. 4,200 damage. Pretty good game in the ISU-130. This tank's just brain dead. It is. But yeah, we did actually run out of ammo. I'd have to do like 4 HE. That would have to be better. Should go to T56 need a buff? No, it most definitely does not. All right. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to end the stream because I have to do a Helldivers stream in about an hour and a half. So I'm going to take a rest, and that's about it. So hopefully all of you enjoyed the stream. If you guys want to see more like this in the future, please consider smashing that subscribe button down below. And apart from that, I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.